Yahanse George. But the big thing is my last name, Nyghtstorm. Now, a lot of folks ask me, how did I get that name, Nyghtstorm? Well, let's just say I was 16 years old and I needed some money. And I don't know, Tony, I don't know if you know this story, but I needed some money and I wanted to buy myself a class ring and I wanted to pay for some senior dues. And I snuck out of my mother's house to a nightclub and I saw this dude dancing on the stage. And he had 100 women throwing him money. His name was White Knight. He had this long blonde hair. He wore these cowboy boots and he was doing this thing. And I saw all these women throwing money at him and I'm saying, I need to get some of that action. So I went up to him and I said, I want to join you. He said, how old are you? I said, I'm 19. I lied, I'm 16. And he said, if you know how to shake your butt, you can make a killing in this industry. And I said, well, I need some money. So I shook my butt and people were asking me, what's your name? And I had a mask on, I had a cape on, I had some boots on. Remember, I'm 16 years old, and people were asking me while I'm on stage shaking, they're like, what's your name? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a name. And this lady from the deepest part of the club, the dark part, a middle-aged lady said, Nyghtstorm. His name is Nyghtstorm because he's dark as night and he can dance up a storm, and that young man know how to shake his money maker. So that's how I got the name Nyghtstorm, and it has stuck for all of these years because it made me feel empowered. As odd as it is, it made me feel empowered. Now, I really needed that empowerment because there were times in my life where circumstances and people took my power away. So, and I'm sure everybody has gone through that. Now, when I think about these times in my life, there are very, very good quotes that come to mind. And this is a good quote right here. Now, can everybody see this? Now, can everybody read with me? I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. How many people agree with that? Yeah. And that was by the incredible Stephen Covey. We're not a product of our circumstances because circumstances happen to us. But we determine who we become by the decisions that we make. Now, this is something I had to learn. Now, moving forward. 1985. This is a pivotal year in my life. Now, things weren't going good at home with mom and dad for a while. Matter of fact, mom and dad used to fight all the time, like cats and dogs. And dad left. And when I started looking like my father, and I was around in the 5th grade at this time, I started looking exactly like the man who used to beat her up all the time. So she had a serious axe to grind with him. But when I started looking like him, she started having an axe to grind with me. Unfortunately, this is what happens in families all the time, regardless of demographics, regardless of tax code, regardless of color of skin, regardless of religious affiliation. It's a reality. But in order to get a break from all the hell that was going on at home, my mother decided to send me to camp because she said she needed a break. So I went to camp and everything was fine, and I befriended a camp counselor. He was a very religious man, and he taught me how to canoe, he taught me how to survive in the wilderness, he taught me how to be a man. But on the last day of camp, on the very last day of 2 weeks of learning manhood, he put me in a cabin and he sexually assaulted me. I'll just say it, he raped me. Let's just be honest. And while he was doing it, like I said, he was a very religious man. And he said, this is what God wants. Don't fight this. Because the priest that did it to me 30 years ago told me the same thing. And priests do not lie. So, this is what was going on. And I formed in my mind, I named him the the wicked man. And once he was done and I ran out of that cabin, and I quickly got on the bus. And we were leaving. I was the only kid in camp that was not happy, and I wasn't saying anything. And I went home, and I said to my father, and I called him, and I said, Dad, something bad happened to me at camp. And Mom is so upset because I look like you, I can't talk to her. I need you to come help me. So my father said, okay, son, I'll be there in 2 hours, because he lived in Birmingham, we were in Atlanta. He said, I'll be there in 2 hours. Well, 2 hours turned into 2 days. 2 days turned into 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into 2 months. 2 months turned into too much time. I didn't give a damn anymore. Right. Okay? So, I had to go at it alone. And that is when I realized that I was abandoned. And the wicked man took my power from me. 1985. But there is a saying that goes with every aspect of my life, because powerful people say powerful things. And this jumps up to me. Can everybody see this? Mm-hmm. Okay, can we read it together? The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. That's by Alice Walker. I felt that I did not have power because Mom and Dad are arguing. I was not important enough for them to stop. I got raped at camp by a camp counselor, and Dad abandoned me. Moving on. Now.
Oh, YG?
Yes.
Oh, you take a picture? I think I have a question. Sorry.
Yes. Now, 1992, moving forward. Now, I'm about to graduate from high school. I did, and I've started to try to put a lot of stuff behind me, and I became the first drum major of my high school marching band. Now, I was a pretty big dude. Everybody thought I was going to play football, but I was the drum major, marching in the band, and guess what? I had a cape on, just like in my old stripper days, so it made me feel good, and it made me feel empowered, and my name was Drum Major Nyghtstorm. So I started feeling good. But after graduation, and as the summertime waned and the fall and the winter began, my father called my mother. Now this set my mother off. I don't know what the conversation was, but by the time she slammed that phone down, she called me into the room and said, damn it, I'm sick and tired of seeing you in my house because you remind me of him. Get the hell out.
Jeez.
And I'm like, Mom, it's cold outside. I don't have anywhere to go. I didn't do it. Dad is stupid, okay? I didn't do it. I'm supporting you. I'm on your side. He's a jerk. He loved me like he loved you. I don't care. And when she picked up a butcher knife and said, get out,
Oh my God.
I think we all understand it's time for YG to leave. Okay, so I leave. Now, it's cold outside. And I was struggling to try to find a job. I was young, 18 years old, just graduated high school, no job skills, no experience, no nothing, and I found myself homeless on the streets of Atlanta, on Peachtree Street. And it was a tough time in my life because once again, now I've been kicked out my home and I feel powerless. I have no support from anyone. Tried calling Dad again, no answer, strictly to the answering machine. So now, I was so tired from walking around looking for a job, trying to work at McDonald's, and say, look, I'll clean your bathrooms up, just give me a burger, and it's warm in here. Let me just sit in here for a couple of hours. I'll make sure your bathrooms are clean. I'll make sure your floors are clean. I'll wipe your windows down. And eventually they say, here's a burger, but you need to leave. So it was cold. So on Peachtree Street, I was so tired, I sat down, ate my burger, and laid down, and went to sleep in the cold. Now, after I was knocked out, because I was sleeping pretty good because I was tired, even though it was cold, I still found a way to get comfortable on the street. 4 kids from Georgia Tech University some preppy dudes from the nice side of town. You can tell they were very, very wealthy kids. Okay, let's be real. They saw me sleeping. And you know how when you're sleeping, you still kind of hear things that's going on. You're not all the way unconscious, but you hear things. And I heard them, they said, look at the piss poor black kid. And then they stood over me and they urinated on me.
Whoa.
And then they said, now he's piss poor for real. Now I woke up and I jumped up and I chased them for a block. And Atlanta Police Department saw it, lights came on, siren, swooped in, and the kid said, officer, this kid is trying to rob us. And I said, I'm not trying to rob them, they just urinated on me. I got the urine still on the top of my head. And they said, no, he urinated on himself, he's trying to rob us. Now this is the early 90s, in the South. 4 rich white kids, 1 piss poor black kid. Who you think they're gonna believe? Exactly. Handcuffs, back of the squad car, on my way to jail. Well, I sat in that jail for a little while, and a sergeant came out, and he said, George. And I said, yes, sir. He said, you didn't pee on yourself, did you? I said, well, you know, I'm proud of myself down there, but I ain't so big where I can just shower on myself. Okay, you know, I'm good, but I ain't that good, dog. So you're like, I'm gonna cut you loose, because there's no way in the world you peed on yourself. So he cut me loose. And I'm walking on Peachtree Street again. And meanwhile, it's cold. I smell like urine, dried up urine. I ain't have time to take a shower or anything because it's jail, okay? So I'm walking, and it's really, really cold. And I made a huge mistake. I saw an older homeless guy with this really thick, warm blanket. And he was good all in his corner, and I took it. And I took off running, and I ran around the corner, and I laid down because I said, I'm sick and tired of being pissed on, so now I'm gonna take his stuff. So while I'm sitting here, now I didn't know the law of the street back then, but if you take something from an old person, somebody finna come looking for you. So a couple of guys came, they saw me, they took the blanket, beat me down pretty good, took my socks and my shoes and the little bit of money that I had left. It was street justice. And while I was laying there, all messed up and hurt, I was ready to die. I was ready to give up because I had lost all hope. Because once again, those 4 kids from Georgia Tech urinating on me took my power from me. So when I went to sleep, I said, I'm probably gonna freeze to death. I heard, and this is the crazy thing, this is amazing how things just work sometimes. You was talking about this. I heard a little rumbling of a classic car. I opened my eyes and there's an old, maybe 1972 Rolls Royce sitting there. Old guy gets out the car, maybe around in his 70s. He looked like a version of a mixture of Ross Perot and Newt Gingrich, okay? He gets out the car and he says, young man, are you cold? And I'm like, yes, duh, I'm cold. What he does is he said, I'm gonna do something for you. He took off his shoes and he took off his Argyle socks, the really thick, expensive kind, and he gave them to me. He said, put these on your feet. Make sure your feet are warm. He said, I would give you my shoes, but your feet are too big, which in most cases, that's not an issue if your feet too big. But he said, I'm gonna give you these socks, and I want you to always remember that God loves you. You are precious to him. And when you become a success, you help someone, because 50 years ago, I was homeless, and an old man pulled up in a nice car, and he gave me a pair of Argyle socks. He said, pay it forward and never forget. Now, at that young age, I wasn't thinking of none of this stuff. I'm just thinking, thanks, old guy, for giving me some socks. Can you give me some money too? But he did. He got in his car and he left. But like I said, powerful people say powerful things. And this popped into my mind when I think about this chapter of my life. Can everybody see it?
Mm-hmm.
Can everybody read it together? I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. That old dude in that Rolls Royce started to reestablish my power. I never forget this man because of how he made me feel, the experience that he gave to me. And I think that's phenomenal. Moving on. Shoot. 1996. Y'all like those effects?
I do,
Good.
yeah.
Okay, now 1996 is an interesting year. We had the Olympics in Atlanta, and everything was going good. And I was married to my first wife at the time, and had 2 beautiful children at the time, and everything just went to hell. Her parents are all in our relationship, her friends are all in our relationship, her cousin all in our relationship. Everybody was up, even her boss was in our relationship. He's no good, he's not this, and he's not rich, and he's not this, that. And man, we got separated, okay? And I was so hurt because once we got separated, her father, who is a pastor of a church, very, very nice church, he decided to say, you don't need to let Yahanseh be around his children because he's not saved enough.
No.
They honestly believe at that point that only their church was going to heaven. I mean, we've seen some of these folks, and it's okay. But unfortunately, he's changed now. He's a very, very good man. But at the time, the whole family teamed up against me, and they took my children from me. And I was so depressed, and I started thinking, man, my mama hate me, dad left, I done been abandoned, I done got raped, I done got urinated on, and now my kids been taken from me. Life sucks. This is some crap. So what I did during all this busy traffic going down the streets of Atlanta, I thought I would get creative on how to end my life. So everybody's coming through the traffic, and I did like this. Goodbye, world. And I just walked in. Now I'm a 300-pound dude. You can't help but see me. And man, the traffic went crazy. I caused the accident, and I was not hurt. What the hell? And I was thinking, and I was so pissed with God. I'm like, I can't even kill myself right. Why am I still here to continue to suffer? Well, Atlanta Police Department got called again. And another officer came on out, and I gave him my ID, and I was just sitting on the curb, and I was crying. And he said, young man, what's wrong? And I repeated what my life was. Raped as a kid, parents hate me, abandoned, pissed on, broke, kids gone. Give me a reason to keep living, or do I need to keep going? He said, we're gonna get you some help. So they took me to Grady Hospital, and if you're ever in Atlanta, Grady Hospital is a memorial hospital that's been around for a long time. And on the 13th floor is where the so-called crazy people are. So they put me up there, and that is when I realized all of the issues and the problems that I have pale in comparison to what some folks are really dealing with in life. Now, one young man thought, and I'm glad you brought up the Enterprise last night at dinner. One young man thought that he was literally Captain Kirk. And he had girlfriends all across the galaxy that were invisible. It's just we couldn't see them. And I'm like, okay. One young lady thought that she was the queen of Pluto. And she said, one day I'm gonna freeze hell over and take over the world. I'm like, Okay, it's time to go. I'm not as crazy as I thought. These people are in real trouble. I've just had some bad stuff happen to me. Now, like I said, powerful people say powerful things. And another quote reminded me of this chapter of my life. Now, does everybody see this? Now, let's read it together. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for fear, to give you a future and hope. Big. I needed hope because all of my life, my power was being taken away. Let's move on. Now,
1990-ish.
1999-ish.
Prince.
Now this is what I call the music fiasco. Now I started to get my life back, and I got visitation to my children. We was kind of working some things out, and I became a music producer. I had saved up some money, worked all kind of odd jobs, bought some equipment, and I was gonna make it happen and become a success as a music producer. This is what I was thinking, and this is what I was believing. But the thing is, the artists that I had were not business minded. I had some rap artists, and I had two groups. And I would tell you this, they were very, very good. I had major labels looking at them, and we was having a concert at a club. And the A&Rs were coming out, and these guys were gonna get signed, and I'm the producer. My music will be heard all over the world. My life is finally gonna be fine, and I could prove my ex-in-laws wrong, that I am somebody. Well, lo and behold, right before they go on stage, somebody steps on one of their shoes. Now, these some very nice sneakers, not Jordans, these some Air Force Ones, but somebody stepped in their shoes, and next thing you know, guns come out, gunshots are popping, people are ducking, looking around, oh God, what the hell going on? And I'm jumping on the floor, and I'm seeing all of my work, all of my dreams be hauled away by Atlanta Police Department. Everything that I put into that group, into that music production company, got arrested and taken away. And I don't see how in the world you can justify spending 18 years of your life over somebody stepping on your freaking shoes. Really? How you gonna mess me up like that? But anyway, like I said, powerful people say powerful things. And there's always a good quote that falls in line with my life. Now, can everybody see this? Our wisdom comes from our experience, and our experience comes from our what? Foolishness!
That's true.
What the world, man? And that's by Shasha Guthrie. Now, I started to try to get my life together. And I started to see the foolishness of my ways, stop hanging around the wrong types of people, and started trying to really get things going. Let's move on. Woo! Shoosh!
Need to record that.
Yeah.
Y'all love that, huh? 2001. Now we in the 21st century. We starting to catch up now. We starting to get to present day soon. 2001. Now, in the year 2000, I was blessed enough to marry my queen. Yeah, baby, I'm calling you. Yeah. And we had a little baby together, and she had already went through a divorce. She had 3 kids. I had 3 kids with my ex. We had our little baby together, and that made 7. 7 beautiful children. Now, but something happened, because every time I started to get happy about something, something incredibly unfortunate happens. Well, I came home from work one day, and the baby was crying. She was crying uncontrollably. And I took the baby to the hospital. Me and Toby took the baby to the hospital. And the nurse came back, and she walked in with some defects workers, Department of Family and Children's Services. And they informed us that the baby had signs of shaken baby syndrome. That somebody dropped her and shook her, and they were taking our child from us, and we would never see our kid again. Now, I'm being very transparent here. Toby broke down crying. I broke down crying because we saw our little baby get hauled off, and I went home and I got the other 6 children together, and I said, who the hell did it? I just want to know what happened. Tell me what happened. And all of the children were very, very small at the time, and they said, well, we played football. We played football. And it was my fault because me trying to spend time, quality time with my wife, because having so many children, you're always mom and dad. You don't have time to be husband and wife. We wanted to spend a little quality time together, and while we were spending some quality time, which was some good time, by the way, I'm just saying, they were playing football. So we had to go to court in Fulton County, and I walked in front of that judge, and the state's attorney was on the other side, said, Mr. George, you'll never see your kid again. And I said, I understand what you're saying, but I serve a powerful God. And I take full responsibility as the father of what happened to my child, and I can guarantee you it will never, ever happen again. Please give us our child back. And the judge thought to herself, and she said, you're accepting responsibility. Yes, ma'am. It's my job as the dad to know what the hell's going on in my house, and it'll never happen again. So after about 2 weeks of thinking about it, guess what? We got our baby back. Oh! Got her back. And like I said, powerful people say powerful things, and now I'm starting to get some faith here, okay? And this quote reminds me of this time in my life. Now let's look at this. Can everybody see this? Let's read it together. The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person who is doing it. They said I would never get it back. Guess what? They were wrong. Get out of my way and let me do my thing. I decided that I'm going to step up, and I believe that I'm going to fix this situation in my life, and I'm going to make it right, and come hell or high water, nothing is going to stop me. So, faith is starting to come about. Now, moving on. 2008. Now, in 2008, my wife and I are celebrating our anniversary. January 4th is my birthday. And February 1st is my wife's birthday. But what happened on January 31st of 2008 is something that changed our lives forever. Our oldest son, Victor, was unfortunately killed at work on his job. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was 19 years old. He was working at Hartsfield Jackson International Airport. And it hit us hard. I'm not going to sit here and try to explain to you how losing a child feels, because quite frankly, point blank. And what we decided to do, because I was carrying this guilt, because I wanted to make sure all of my children, because I just promised in 2001, nothing bad was ever going to happen again to my babies. But when this happened, I said to myself, I don't know what else to do, God. I have no clue of what I'm doing now, and I have to carry this burden, this guilt. I have to carry this cross alone of the loss of my son. And let me tell you how assurance worked. My wife and my 6 surviving children, because I was laying on the floor crying, they all surrounded me, and they said, Dad, you don't have to carry this cross alone. We have your back. So what are we going to do now? And I said, you know, we're going to create a legacy for him. We honor, because he always wanted to be a firefighter. And he said, Dad, I want to save lives. I want to save people who don't even know my name. And this is what I want to do. And he said, but if anything were to ever happen to me, make sure you represent me to the fullest. And whatever you do it right. And like I said, powerful people say powerful things. And can everybody see this?
Mm-hmm.
And if we can all read this together, because this stuck out to me at this time of my life. He restoreth my soul. At this point, out of my life, all of the power was being taken away. But after the reassurance of my family, of my wife, of my children, and reading and starting to develop my faith stronger in God, I started to feel restored. I started to have my faith. I started to get a belief. And I started thinking, okay, what am I going to do next? So let's move forward. Now here we go. Shh. Guess what I got now? I got some faith now. And I said to myself, if I'm going to create a legacy for my son, I got to do it right. And I got to believe in what I'm doing to make it right. So this is what I did. It's 3 steps of faith that I put in. Boom. Number 1, this is my 3 steps. Create the Victor Sims Foundation. That's my boy right there on his graduation day. This is the foundation we created for him in Georgia, and it changes lives to change communities. And what we do, these are high school seniors in area high schools who actually want to be first responders. They want to be police officers, they want to be firefighters, they want to be paramedics. So what we do, we gather them all together and we take them to meet real life chiefs of police, fire departments, first responders, take them to training facilities all over the state and educate them. We give them laptop computers, we give them grant money so they can go become real life heroes. All in the name of our son. And these are some of the great first responders and police officers and firefighters. And as you see, I'm flexing with one of them. But this is what we do. And this is stage 1 of my faith on changing the fortune of my family and getting my power back. And I hope that my son is proud of the work we're doing, because now we're starting to launch nationwide. Not just in Georgia, but nationwide. Stage 2 of my faith to change things. This right here, that's the queen right there. Y'all wave at that beautiful lady. That's the queen right there. Okay, and of course there's a little shot of me right there. Okay, but we bought a salon in upscale Alpharetta, Georgia. And what we do, we make sure we take care of the needs of everybody from white, black, Jew, Gentile, male, female, don't matter. We make everybody feel better. And this helps to fund the charity. Because right now, everything been going out of my pocket, and it's kind of expensive to take care of a wife, take care of 6 children, and 5 of them are adults now. Okay, take care of myself, take care of charity, and take care of a business, and that's just a lot of money coming out of my pocket. So now, we bought a salon to help fund it. That's stage 2. Stage 3 is this. How y'all like that picture?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now this is Nyghtstorm Radio. This is our radio show that comes on every single Thursday. And what we do, what me and the wife do, we travel around the country and we help people dealing with traumatic issues. Everything from divorce to the death of a child. And we help as many people as we can. And then we talk about it on the radio show. This also helps to spread awareness for the Victor Sims Foundation. So this is a three-way stage of how I'm able to try to change my life, change the life of my family, and change my business. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because now at this point, I'm starting to believe now. I'm starting to believe in myself, to believe in my business. And one last quote, because powerful people say powerful things. Now, I'm not going to say this, but can y'all read that, please?
Become powerful.
Say, read it like you mean it.
Become powerful enough to end the drama in your life.
Help
others do the same in their life.
You'll be surprised just how powerful you are.
Who said that?
YG!
Ah!
All right.
This is, now I've gotten my power back. It feels good to be alive, to help people. Because having power and doing nothing with it is a travesty. Having resources and doing nothing with them is a travesty. The whole point of being in business, the whole point of doing things is about service. It's about commitment to people. It's about empowering them, showing them the way, leading them out of the crap in their lives so they can enhance the lives of others. That's how this works. And it all goes back to those doggone Argyle socks when I was homeless. And I always remember what he told me. He didn't say if you become a success. He said when you become a success. Go back and help people. I didn't believe it then, but I definitely believe it now. And this is why. This is why. This is why I believe. Because of this guy right here. This guy controls the destinies of all of these people. You control the destiny of all of your people. And if you don't make it happen, it's not going to happen. So my last little thing is this. Like I said, powerful people say powerful things. So when are you going to start talking? Because every last one of you are powerful. So I'm YG Nyghtstorm. I'm being real as possibly. I'm being authentic. I'm putting all the dirty laundry out there. Because see, if all the dirty laundry out, that means my house clean.
Awesome. Give it up for YG Nyghtstorm! Wow!
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I'm getting the standing ovation. Oh my God. How you get that on camera?
I hope so.
Wow, YG, I just said, hey, here's your parameters. I know a little bit of his story. I read his book. I met the Queen in Atlanta. They were in Chicago. I said, I just want you to talk. Tell us your story. So I am beyond amazed.
Yeah,
And that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, I want to tell you guys this. The opportunity to just be around Tony, to be around you guys, is just an amazing thing. And me and the Queen were talking when I was getting on the plane, and she said, you have been blessed to have some really, really good people in your life. Regardless of all the bad things that have happened to you, look at how your life has changed. And it's coming to events like this that help to empower me. Because like I was telling you last night, I learned so much from listening to every last one of you. I take notes, I write things down, I shoot little texts to myself on things that you do. I read blogs, and I read your stuff. And hanging around just the Mastermind Summit last year changed a lot of people's lives. And Tom, you were there. You were there. And I'll say get everything you can from each other. Learn everything you can from each other and continue to empower each other. And whatever service you need from me, borrowing from Tony, if you know a couple of folks that can benefit from the things that I have said with them in their personal lives or in their companies, please let me know. I would love to service them as well. And whatever companies you got, if you need me, I got your back. And definitely I'm going to be reaching out to every last one of you because I want you on the show. You're all phenomenal people. God bless you. And I'm going to
One more time, get up for what?
Yeah.